How's everyone going? Welcome back to another MTMR Railway video. It's a bit of an odd video today actually. It's kind of a cross between multiple different series. So I guess we'll just start us off with, we're going to have a look at some newly released wagons, these things. Obviously we'll only have a look at one, we'll do the unboxing on one pack. Anyways, as I say, so this is an unboxing video. Compared to our opening videos, which are for locomotives and basically initial reviews, and our proper review videos, which actually look after the long-term sort of stuff, this is more or less just a sort of set up and go sort of thing. We'll unbox it, talk a bit about them, have a close look at them, and then we'll give them a run sort of thing. But yeah, so what are we having a look at today? We are having a look at the Southern Rail models 5-car container wagons, the RRAY, RRBY, or the RRGY wagons. So basically, what they are is they're articulated wagons. They use a shared bogie between the units. So yeah, they're newly released by Southern Rail Models. Who struggled to do anything on their social media, we've realised, but they arrived finally, and they're supposedly, from what people said, they're not too bad, because I have seen things pop up. Again, as I say, these aren't actually mine. Once again, these are it basically came in for testing, commissioning. They're not a regular thing in the market. They are basically the first proper articulates we've had. From a rather renowned company anyways, and as we know, the what's it called, from our previous review videos, the Southern Rail models do have a pretty decent quality thing going on, so it should be rather trustworthy. So we're going to open up the top pack, because why not? The rest of them will be we'll unpackage them off camera, so let's go to one pack. Alright, so as you can see, the unboxing can be a little bit different as well. We usually have the camera up on the side while we do the unboxing. We're going to do it from behind the camera this time, which I had to remove the jig arm for it. So, as I say, there are articulated wagons. So there's five sections each. Each one can carry approximately a 40-foot container. So we'll have a look at those lengths and weights and stuff like that. They don't come with the containers as usual. You need to grab them, get them yourself, which we do not have any. That's part of the reason why this is more of an unboxing. It's not really a completed video. So let's get this unpackaged somehow. Let's try to get this unpackaged. That's supposed to be the double-sided tape sort of thing, but ruins the packaging when opening. That's nice. Not too bad of a little box. Are they taped together? No, that's why. We'll actually have a quick look around before I fully open it up. So we're able to see all five sections of the wagons on the front. You can see what I mean already. You got your bogies there, bogie on the center, and bogies on the bottom one. These two just basically float. They articulate through a pin joint. So yeah, on the real ones, they do actually change around the articulate. Sometimes you get well wagons, sometimes on the articulate rakes and stuff like that. Yeah, they're pretty multi-use, what the articulateds are. We'll have a chat about more of the purpose of articulates in a moment. Nothing on the back, it's all a white box, just a standard 14 to what's it called, not suitable for under 14-year-olds. Southern Rail's website, which is their only means of contact. We got the edition contemporary, so there we go. It's HO scale. Let's get her out. And yes, we probably should have put this out. This is the ART08 model. They should all be this. No, they're not. One's 3. One's a 9 and one's a 4, so basically got to make sure that they're not the same numbers, I guess, which is kind of nice. So this is the 2002 plus model, so anything after 2002 basically, pull that out. They're in a nice little plastic tray. That's just a annoying reflector which the focusing hates, and that's the box done. And this little plastic thing, take this off. So as I say, the main purpose of having shared bogies like this is, as the French found out with their high-speed trains, is the less bogies you have, the less rolling resistance you have. Especially for heavier and longer trains, having less rolling resistance means it's less weight. It's more sense of a weightless. Anyway, so let's get them out. I guess they are kind of recessed in a package, so there we go. We'll just have a quick look at this little one first. They're fitted. They look like they're fitted with nice 158 couplers, I think they are 148s. The scale size knuckles. So, and that's a screw that's from the coupler. So that's an interesting little design thing there. Okay. I guess it doesn't really matter too much if you have a container over the top, but yeah, so it's not too bad. We'll have a close look at well, we'll get them all lined up and I'll have a close look at them. This is second unit. They are basically float units, as I call them, anyways. They're the section that has no wheels. They basically lock onto the pin. In real life, there wouldn't just be a pin like that. There would be something which is a bit more durable. But these are models that can withstand a bit more, I guess. Unit section 3. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing this the right way around. Section 1. These are also very flimsy. These corners, so be very careful. You can't. It feels like they're very breakable. Up until now, a lot of the models have been what's it called? Just kit-made stuff or 3D printed stuff, so it's kind of nice to have something RTR, and it's a realization why it's been kind of difficult for RTR. These are really delicate. These are your locking pins for the containers, so there are holes for the center ones, and obviously they're not fitted by standard, because in case you want to put your 40 footers in, it doesn't really help having them in the way. That's not what I wanted to take out. Again, this is another one of those central sections, and then we'll get the last one out. As I say, this is not the easiest to do behind camera, so I will open the rest of them off camera, and then we'll just put that back there for a second as we just have a look at the last unit. So that's the last one. It basically should be the same as the front unit. So yeah, there we go. Alright, I've got the pack of 5 wagons currently lined up. I have to quickly just jump in on something else. I said we're going to do some running of them. It's not going to be proper running, it's going to be more like shunting them. There is an issue with the with this, because they're articulating, and since they share the bogies, they have a restriction in the amount of curve they can make. I've noticed, well, at least with my layout, because I've already had not with this pack, funnily enough, with the separate pack. They do not like tight corners. About 21 inches is basically the maximum they can go, and that's even that's pushing it a little. We've got all 5 units lined up, and we've got the 3 set of the 2 end cards and one of the centers currently hooked up, just because it's the only way I could get them to fit. I'll split them up, and then we're going to have a look at 3 of the units, the front articulation section and the mid section, and we'll have a chat about those. Right, here we go. So this, just remember, this is pack ART, articulates number 8. All 5 of them are made for 40-foot wagons. There are some of them, however, that are made for 48 feet, and we'll have a chat about those once we get to those sections later on. When we get to these, we'll single out these wagons out and have a chat about them. Because those specifically, at least for the 4 packs that we have here, those specifically are the center ones, not the end wagons. The end ones all use the same 40-footer. Alright, so we're going to have a quick look on the website and just read out the features that these are presented with. They're RTR, ready to run. The blackened 33-inch wheels. They are die-cast metal body, so that's what the what I was trying to look for earlier, die-cast. They have a minimum radius of 24 inches. As I say, you can probably get it around a 22-inch curve, which is about approximately third radius. 24 inches is slightly larger than third radius. So any people using set track, well, just a bit of a heads up on that. Factory painted decorate 3 different types of wagons. Specifically, the production was just for National RRAY and Pacific National, and they come with a 158 coupler. So that's what the scale couplers are. So yeah, not too bad at all. It's pretty regular sort of things we kind of expect from most manufacturers these days, especially Australian manufacturers. As I say, with the ones we have in front of us are the 40-foot versions. Let's get in nice and close. Of course, let's start with the front carriage, or the end wagons. You can see that there's a brake handle fitted to them, handbrake, which is cool. They probably need it because usually most wagons would have them, but with the lack of wheels, there is only one on each end. As you can see, we've got the couplers, we've got the nice fine scale details, steps and so on like that. Very nice little handrail has been fitted. You got things like what's it called? So those are your pre-fitted mountings for containers. Currently set up in the 40-foot position. You can also there are extras that come in the pack, so you can fit out those ones as well to allow accept 20-foot containers. They are the skeletal wagons, as they can also known. So it's just the outside. Something that I would like to check, also check quickly as we do the close-up, is whether or not they're actually flat. Because apparently there's been an issue with some of them being slightly warped. So grabbing a metal ruler, we can see that at least the sides of it is pretty much nice and flat. The center on this one is also pretty much flat. The end does bow. The end seems pretty good on this one as well. So this one, this is actually pretty good. So yeah, these ones seem like they're pretty good. There's no bend in the frames. Apparently that has been a problem, especially because of how thin it is. Bogies as normal. They look nice, but they got a little printing on them. As you can see, might be able to see a bit of the white writing, but there's nothing that really stands out about them compared to other models. They're pretty standard, which not to say they're bad, it's just they're just standard. You got some piping detail and stuff within the wagon, so that's very nice. You got your finely painted up what's called number plate as well, wagon plate. So yeah, one of the things that is kind of odd though is you can see there's a black hole just there. That's your coupler hole. They've actually got the coupler screw going straight through it, and so it ends just there. So it's a bit of an interesting design choice, but I guess with a container, then you can really, if we could put a container on them, we can confirm whether or not that's too visible, but that's definitely interesting. As you can see, there's still a lot of finely painted logos and decals. There's a Pacific National logo somewhere in there as well. This is the mounting mechanism for the wagons. As we can see, it's just physically a pin, and comparing with the non-wheeled, so the floating region, that just has a pole basically. So pretty simply, they just sit in that peg. So if I just grab this one right now, you will see that it just sits in the peg and then just rotates like so. It'll be interesting to see how that goes in the future, especially as there's more wear and tear on them. You can see there's even little foot marks. The thing that restricts their rotation are these little metal, these little parts here. Those will clash even before this hits any limitations. So it's an interesting little design there. Yeah. So, having a look at the other two, as I say, so as you can see, the main difference with the one with the wheels is just it doesn't have an end to it. There's nothing realistically that different. It has a bit less under details as well. Doesn't have things like that sort of brake vessels and handbrakes and stuff, obviously, because there isn't one. So it just has the brake line through it, the air braking through it, basically. So it's it looks very nice, very fine, fine models. But yeah. So this is one of the 48-foot versions, cinder sections from Pack 3. As you can see, they are obviously longer to accept those longer container wagons. They no reason why you can't put a 40-footer on it. It's just obviously their allowance is for 48 feet containers, whereas the 40-foot you can't put 48 feet containers. So nothing really that different. They look pretty much identical, just slightly longer. But something like this longer, there is a little bit of bowing on this model. Very minor though, especially with the middle units. So yeah, not too bad at all. Details are all the same, just slightly extended. Very finely painted and all that sort of stuff. We're going to go and do a quick other check. I'm going to go check the couple of heights, just to make sure that RTR is correct. We can see that very nicely they are properly RTR. You can see that couple height is definitely pretty much as good as you can get it, and including the trip arm, which is actually at the correct height so that you don't even have to bend it or anything. So that's fantastic of Southern Rail to have a model which is properly seated. We should probably check the opposing end as well, because you never know, it may be slightly different, but there we go. So it's as good as the front one as well. So there we go, not too bad at all. Definitely, hopefully that's enough of a close look of these wagons. So let's jump over to the layout and just give it a bit of a move up and down the tracks, and I'll show you what I mean by how restrictive those little bits on that allows the curve, especially on the tighter corners. So let's jump over. Alrighty, so we've got them set up on the outer loop, at least as far as they can go. They're actually not too hard to set up. We'll jump onto a quick demonstration on how to set up now. Alright, so loading on the models are really not too difficult. Pretty simple to load on both on a corner or a straight. Of course most people prefer doing it on a straight, but in my case I don't mind whether or not what I do it on. So we've got the 5 outlined at the moment. We're going to start off with the 3 wagons that have wheels to make it easy. Firstly, grabbing the end unit, loading on as any per any regular bogeyed unit. Of course, it does help that the fact that the models aren't permanently connected, differentiating with some what will usually be kit-built models and things like that. Then just lining up the pins together and dropping it in. So it's just that simple. They're nice and easy to put together, nice and easy to pack up as well, especially when you've got containers on. It will make it a lot easier because you actually have something to grab to. If you're the sort of person to glue your containers on or whatever. If not, then it's still pretty simple to put them on. So yeah, continue back with the running. Welcome back. It was easier to do it like that rather than I was going to do it on camera. So yeah, we have one spare container which is just sitting around because it's here for another video, and it's been here for like 2-3 years, and God knows when that's going to happen. So just brought it out just to put some load on it. I only got them sitting between the 2 L classes because we'll have to pull up and down the track rather than our normal running. We'll have a chat about why that's the case as well. Alright, so as you can see with the models, they've got these 2 little pinpoints here which in real life and even on the model is to stop for the wagons from basically overlapping, especially as sort of like a crash zone so that the containers don't collide with each other while they're moving around a corner. We'll casually just move our wagons towards the tighter 18-inch corner. 18 inches actually is quite tight and it shouldn't be used for most fine scale models. You can see that the tightness is pretty much as tight as it can go. And this isn't even 18 inches yet, so once we hit that 18 inch, you'll see the wheel will lift. No, you won't, because apparently this is only half the train. You can see how tight it has gotten between those points. You probably could slowly move it through, but it's definitely not ideal for especially when you got a lot of them on board. And I know with these 48-foot versions, they definitely wouldn't handle it. I'll go and recouple these up together. I don't know why they uncoupled. One of the couplers are actually slightly lower than all the others, which is kind of odd as well. Not sure why that's the case. Interesting, I guess that answers why the boxer was so much lower. Yeah, the whole couple of boxes actually isn't tightened in properly. That's interesting, never seen that occur before. As I say, this is not really a review, this is partially unboxing, but partially also, it's kind of both, so one of the few times we're doing this, so yeah, I'm just going to quickly get that screwed back in, and that should hopefully solve that problem. Alright, so with all that fixed up, we're ready to go, I guess. And so we're going to go in this direction first, and then we'll come back around. You'll see how the shot, so we'll be shuttling back and forth. That's also the reason why we only have 2 sets of 10 wagons rather than 4 sets, i.e. 20 wagons. It's just not going to fit, not for this sort of purpose anyways. Let's get them moving and see how they roll. They seem to be pretty decent anyways in the short little section that we've already seen, so. Alright, I think you can all agree that they're not too bad. Obviously they will look better with the containers on them, but A, we don't have any 48 feet wagons containers available, and we don't really do much container operations on this railway at the moment. But yeah, so hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what the new SRM RRAY container flats are like. So as I say, these come in 5 packs, made for 5 containers obviously, each forming one set of articulates. They are made for more modern operation, obviously, 1997 onwards. There's 2, and at the moment they're actually mostly all sold out. So hoping for a future rerun of them. Fingers crossed. They were very, very popular, obviously. But yeah, so other than that, they roll pretty nicely. I barely saw any friction issues. Some of my worries are mainly those connecting pins between the containers, between each wagon. Those are all friction connected. But seeing the wagons are rather heavy, I think they'll still stay seated. It's just the amount of friction they're putting on those joints may cause it to, in a longer train, more of a chance of derailments. But other than that, obviously they are restricted. They're not able to go around the tighter corners. This layout is basically a testing layout more than anything. It really puts the test on the wagons. Not everything's supposed to be made for 18 inches. Those are more of a older style, standard to allow for 18 inches and anything lower. So in this case, it kind of makes sense. These are fine scale models. Detail wise, they look pretty good, other than the screw that goes straight through the container. In fact, with the container on, we can see that there's obviously very little remnant of the screw hole that's there, so it's not too bad. But yeah, so apparently there is an issue with them bowing a bit because being die cast and being so thin. They're also really, really fragile, so be very careful with them. Yeah, on that, I think that's probably all for this short little look at the new SRM 5 articulates. So thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed joining for this little look. We won't do too many of these, or we'll try to get some of them done, especially when we do acquire larger wagon packs, but that's not really a thing that I do much of. I primarily do locomotives, and when I do collect wagons, they're primarily pack by pack rather than acquiring a whole lot, but we'll see what happens. May not be my stuff again next time, so we'll see what happens. Until next time, we'll catch you all whatever I next pull out of my box.